You've probably heard this saying, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. We should listen more than we speak. Or this one, listen and silent are spelled with the same letters. So picture this. I'm 17 and I'm on a plane for the first time in my life. I'm flying to New York City and I'm by myself. There is an incredible amount of excitement and also fear. As I get settled on the plane, there's a gentleman in a suit sitting next to me. He could see all of the emotions on my face. I very quickly found out that he had a daughter my age and he went straight into dad mode. Distract this poor girl. So as we get into conversation, he says, "You're a great listener." I had never been told that before, so it really stuck with me. But what did that even mean? There's a fascinating article about listening in the Harvard Business Review that I learned so much from. I want to share it with you. It's titled, "What Great Listeners Actually Do." They conducted research with almost 3,500 people through the avenue of coaching. The most effective listeners of this group, the top 5%, had these 4 things in common. The first, good listening, was consistently seen as a 2-way dialogue rather than a 1-way speaker versus hearer interaction. The best conversations were active, so no longer silent nodding to show I hear you, but asking questions to discover or clarify understanding. The second, good listeners made the other person feel supported and conveyed confidence in them. That included interaction to build them up rather than being passive or even critical. The third, good listening is a conversation where feedback flows smoothly in both directions, meaning we don't listen to identify errors in reasoning and logic, but instead to challenge assumptions and disagree in a way that's helpful. The fourth, good listeners make suggestions. Now, we have to be careful with this one. There is a fine line between being silent, doing the nodding and and then jumping into fix, versus someone that's been actively engaged in a conversation, trying to suggest another way to see the situation. The article in the Harvard Business Review goes on to describe that listeners move through levels depending on the type of conversation they were in. So, level 1, have you created a safe environment? Can people discuss emotional or difficult issues with you? Level 2, do you put distractions like phones and laptops away? Doing this not only communicates to the speaker that you're a good listener, but it influences your own attitude and feelings. Level 3, do you seek to understand? Ask questions, especially to make sure that you understand them correctly. Level 4, are you listening with your eyes? 80% of what we communicate is nonverbal, so watch for things like facial expressions, respiration rate, and posture. So as we move into more difficult or even emotional conversations, we have level 5. Are you supporting and empathizing? Can you understand their feelings and emotions on the topic and validate and support them in a non-judgmental way? And last, level 6. Do you ask questions to clarify assumptions that the other person holds? This could be interjecting a new thought or idea to the conversation that could be useful, but to never hijack the conversation to become the primary focus. After reading this research on listening, I've asked myself the following questions that I want to ask you. What level of a great listener are you at? How can you improve? Better yet, think about the work that you do. Think about your relationships. Who can you improve for?